Morgan Rielly signed a big contract, and I want to talk about this because he kind of took a little bit of a discount to stay in Toronto. He got 60 million over 8 years, so he's getting paid. But really, on the open market, he may have been able to get more. Do you not think it kind of makes him look good? Like, he just signed the deal. He took a little bit less. He took the full 8 years. He got what he could get. I mean, after some of the contract negotiations, especially Mitch Marner's, it just kind of makes Morgan Rielly to the fans, even though he got paid, look like, wow, what a good guy.
I suppose I don't see this as a hometown discount personally. I just don't see it
a tiny bit. Like, I think he's making what he's worth instead of getting overpaid. So it's not, yeah, you're right. It's not a discount, but it's not, I want Darnell Nurse money and I want it now.
Hang on a second. Darnell Nurse didn't get an 8-year deal, I don't believe. 7 is the max for, I think. Or did he? Maybe he did. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. 7.
But the bottom line is the cap hit is the biggest thing.
No, I understand.
The cap hit is not.
If Morgan would have waited and went to free agency, the longest deal he could have got was 7 years. So he took the extra deal or the extra year, the 8 years, to drop the cap hit down to 7.5. If he goes to the free agency, maybe he gets an 8.5 offer for 7 years. Well, that's the same fucking deal. It's the same deal.
Oh, I get it. But what I'm saying is the optics of it.
Like, I don't think
the optics of it look like he's still getting paid and he's getting paid what he's worth and he got his 8 years. But the optics of it, to me, just make it look better than the Marners. It makes Rielly look like a nicer guy to the fans.
Yeah, okay.
Over the whole situation, whether it's true or not, I just think that's how it is. But now that he's got that contract, what the hell are you going to do in the offseason? There's no money. There's no money.
They've got 5 guys.
You say that they got 5, but it's back down to 4.
Well, they've got 5 guys making $50 million. The cap's 80.
What are you going to do? You got to get rid of somebody, man. You cannot have 5 guys eating up $50 million. I
have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Really, I really don't. Start with Kerfoot, start with Richie, like guys like that. But if you want to sign Campbell.
I mean, basically, they're giving Phil Kessel's money that's on the salary cap right now is going to Morgan Rielly.
Which is 1.2.
1.2. And then they'll find a little bit extra, but you're so tight up against it. And Jack Campbell's going to want a contract.
Yeah.
Like, if Jack Campbell keeps going the way he's going and have an incredible season, you think he's not going to want a little pay raise to stay as the number one?
Of course.
I mean, what do you have?
If
no
it's
money.
Not, he's going to want he's going to want probably what Mrazek is making. 3.5, 3.8.
Yeah.
So that's where Jack's probably.
I don't know.
Going. I don't know either. I mean, look,
eventually it's just got to burst. It's just got to burst, man.
It should burst soon, I would think.
I mean,
but maybe not soon enough. This could,
No, I mean, eventually one of the big boys it's just got to go to relieve the pressure. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that.
You can't hold it in that long. You can't keep it that tight for that long and not just release it.
It's too tight, man. I hear
it's way too tight.
But going back,
you need to shoot off one of those big ones, and then everything will come down and feel better.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's exactly what they need to do. The last podcast, when the sky was falling, I was ready to hey, Mitch Marner, Morgan. I'm like, why the fuck would you re-sign Morgan Rielly? What's he bringing? Look, okay, yeah, he had a pretty decent game.
I believe someone called you a very angry person.
I've just had enough. I don't want to see it anymore with these guys. Yeah. That's just what it is. It's not, it's a frustration. I'm not an angry person at all. It's
you want to see a winner.
Yeah. It's the frustration of I've come to the conclusion and my mind is still, I've come to the conclusion. I'm not going to go back. I don't think they can win with these guys. That's my opinion. Okay. Because they've shown me time and time again that they can't win with these fucking guys. Why is anything going to change with the same fucking core guys? What am I missing something here? Am I the fucking crazy one? They can't win with these guys. That's my conclusion. So I'm
you can win with these guys.
I don't believe they can.
I think you can win with these guys, but these guys need better supporting cast around them, and you can't afford any better supporting cast. Like imagine this team with this core, but you still had Hyman, and you still had Connor Brown, and you still had Kapanen. And then, they're not
going to be able to do that, Chad.
And then you added like a Bunting and different pieces like that. No, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Unless one of these big contracts goes, and it's not Rielly, like they're not going to sign Rielly and then trade him in the offseason.
They just committed to him, but like
it's just so tight. Again, this season you're going to be fiddling around the edges, trying to fill in minimum contracts.
I thought Rielly had a pretty good game last night. Honestly, I thought he looked pretty good. He made some good plays in his own end and he did some good things last night. He looked better. So I'm hoping that he can continue to build and whatever, because I've not liked his game very much in the first couple of weeks of this season. I think he's been getting beat like in foot races, like on the outside by players coming down on him. And like, he just hasn't looked good to me. So I was in the impression, or I guess I was under the impression that I would be like, okay with them moving on from Morgan Rielly, free up the money, do something else, give it a different look. Well, no, fuck. Why do that? Just why not reward another guy that hasn't won fucking dick all since he's been here? Well, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just do that instead. That makes much more fucking sense. And hey,
you're right.
I like Morgan. You
have to replace him.
I understand that. And listen, don't get me wrong here.
And unless if you look at the free agents next season, there ain't no Morgan Rielly on that list.
Okay, fair.
So you'd have to do it through trade or something.
Like I'm not saying run the guy out of town. I like Morgan Rielly as a person. I don't love him as a player. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he plays hard enough in his own end. He's got offensive ability, but it's hit or miss. Like some nights it's there, some nights it's not. I guess it depends on what type of effort he feels like fucking giving that given night, because he doesn't give the same effort every fucking night either. So
yeah, I think he gives the effort. He doesn't always have great nights.
So like, look, I'm not shitting on this signing, but I'm kind of like, does this make a lot of sense right now? I guess. Why not play it out again and see, like, let's see if they fucking blow it in the playoffs again, or if they miss completely. Like,
as great as this core is, like as great as these players are, I won't say the core, but individually, as talented as Austin Matthews is, as Mitch Marner is, as Morgan Rielly, doesn't it kind of remind you of the Phil Kessel and Dion Phaneuf years where they were doubling down on guys that couldn't win? They give Dion Phaneuf like a huge contract. They give Phil
seven times, very similar to this.
They give Joffrey Lupul a huge contract, and they were doubling down on guys who never did anything. But guess what? These guys are more talented, but they haven't done anything.
Guess what, Chad? That management team was delusional. They were under the impression that they could actually win with those guys, Lupul and Kessel and Phaneuf.
Because they took Boston to 7 games and then had the worst game 7 in my lifetime. They believed they were 7. They believed they were closer, blowing a 4-1 lead.
It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as this last one, I don't think.
Yeah. Agree to disagree. But anyway.
No, it was bad. Like, they were all bad.
They're all bad. But again, it's the same. I'm just saying it reminds me of that time. It reminds me of that time because at that time, when Phaneuf signed the contract, we were kind of like, couldn't you spend this money somewhere else to get this team better? And when Kessel signed and Lupul, you're like, Lupul's just going to get hurt. Yeah. Like there's no way Lupul's going to finish 5 years or whatever he signed, 4 years. And it kind of feels the same. They signed Morgan Rielly and you're like, great, Morgan Rielly's a good player, but he hasn't won anything.
No, and you're right. And so, he's the longest tenured Leaf right now. And I mean, look, we'll wait and see how this plays out. I don't love the deal. I don't hate it either. Like I said, I like Morgan as a person. Some nights I like him as a player, but there's a lot of things he does that drive me fucking nuts in his own end too. So we'll see.
You're right up the middle.
We'll see how this works out. 8 years is a long time, man. Is his game, like I said this last podcast too, do you think Rielly's best years are ahead of him or behind him? And I personally believe his best years might be behind him. I hope I'm wrong on that, because 8 years is a long fucking time, man.
Yeah, whether they're behind him or not, he ain't going to be Morgan Rielly by the end of this contract. Like he'll be 35 when the contract's over.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
And so we'll see. Like we will see. Like time will tell. Like if this ends up being a good deal or not a good deal. But if he stays healthy, he could be in territory where he is a lifer here. He's a lifer.
Oh, he he may very well finish his career as a Leaf.
He may very well, when it's all said and done, have the franchise record for games played as a Toronto Maple Leaf, which I believe is George Armstrong right
everyone,
now.
Dale here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're here, why don't you take a look around at some of our other videos? And if you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, we are available on all podcast platforms. You can check in the description below for links to our website and all our other social media. And if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by going to our Patreon page, and you can find a link to that as well. The Tip In Maple Leafs Podcast.